So thank you so much for having me here today. And it's so humbling to pick up this conversation at the best time forward when we are commemorating the International Day of Zero Tolerance Against Female Genital Mutilation. My name is Catherine Chacha Menganyi. I'm a nurse, epidemiologist. I work in Kenya. I currently coordinate gender-based violence prevention and response in one of the sub-nationals called Migori. And I am also the co-founder and chapter lead of Women in Global Health Kenya, an organization that fights for the rights of gender equity in health, among other things, gender-based violence, but ensuring that women and girls are protected. Other than that, I'm passionate about advocating against gender-based violence. And to pick up this conversation for today, my journey on ending female genital mutilation did not begin in an office. So that's why I usually say it's all about the community. It's all about us. As a survivor of FGM, so my journey began when I knew where the shoe hurts most. So speaking from a perspective of experience, perspective of pain, today is a very important day where we need to ask ourselves, where do we come in this conversation of ending female genital mutilation, especially in this time and era where it's supposed to end? Some years back, when Catherine was a very young girl, was subjected to medicalized FGM. And that was the first and turning point of life because the pain is usually very clear at times. The psychosocial trauma is very, very clear to my head. But now I take it like it's an opportunity now to save the more than 1,000 girls that I've known that have passed through my hand and never underwent the cut. So that has been amazing because one, I appreciate that the communities have their cultural norms, but now where do we move in when it comes to violence against women and girls? So it's not about sitting in the comfort zone. So I have been very categorical in looking at my space. One, being a survivor, two, being a nurse, because I know the effects that will come in my workplace. And then coming from a community where this is a topic that sometimes feels like it's not spoken of. So this has really strengthened my journey to speak up, save girls, and reach out to everyone because one, FGM can only end if the community themselves pick up the responsibility of protecting girls and women without getting issues to justify why violence should be done. My main message for international zero tolerance for FGM is this should not only be a calendar event. And I always feel bad at times when each year I ask myself, as we commemorate these days, what have we created as impact in the community? Are we celebrating a day that it has to pass? Or are we asking ourselves, what have we done? So it's a reminder of the million of girls and women who have been at risk of FGM or who have undergone FGM because we still have the survivors to look at. And that tells me that silence, delays, and weak commitment are causing the violence against women and girls in the world. So this is a day to sit down again and reflect. What have we done well? As we all know right now, we are looking at ending FGM by 2030. We need to ask ourselves, is it a reality or it's written in books? Can we come out now and say we need to call it as it is and mention it as it is and get all the players to come into place? So this day, I call out for key things that need to be done. I know all over the world we'll get speeches from the government, we'll get speeches from CSOs, we'll get speeches from non-governmental organizations. Some people will also give opportunity for survivors to talk about it. But now we need to call out, we need to move down out from the day itself and now create action. One of the things is we need to have budget allocation for prevention of FGM because it is really, we cannot run away from discussing violence against children. And it can only be done if we get support at the correct place and the correct way to be done it. Then we need to clearly put up protection systems that actually reach the girls. I recently worked closely on, I come from a community where FGM is practiced, and I was very keen at how are the girls speaking out. So it was so frustrating when you get girls running away from their homes because they are at risk of undergoing FGM. So where do we call safe? A safe place should be at home where everybody is friendly and the rest. But now we are turning our homes to be unsafe. So the conversation is, how do we change this narrative? Many countries have enforced their laws on harming children. But now, do we go back and ask if these laws are being taken care of? As much as there are laws there, but the practice is still there, that clearly shows that, can we revise our laws? Is it because our laws are weak, or something needs to be done to ensure that justice is gotten for the women and girls undergoing violence? Then we need to invest in community-led solutions. I have always believed in community-owned solutions or community-led solutions, because sociocultural issues are more impacted at the communities. These communities understand why they're practicing this. These communities understand why they're keeping into it. So can we have a strong system that is community-led, a strong system that the community picks up, and they're the first people to pick up this conversation? Because once you have community-led solutions, it's very easy for them to bring up issues and get solutions and understand the vices that they're causing. So good to invest on community-led solutions. As we still speak and end this, one interesting bit is violence against women and girls is not only female genital mutilation. So FGM does not exist in isolation. It is part of a wider system that controls girls, women and girls' bodies. It limits the choices of women and girls, and this brings normalization of violence. So we cannot delink FGM from the bigger picture of violence against women and girls. So we need to emphasize the importance of gender equality, gender equity. It is not optional, it has to work. The conversation of putting women, understanding women, putting them at the decision-making table, listening to their voices, very critical, because as much as they undergo violence, they have a voice to speak in it and they have a voice to change. Then it is a foundational to health, education, and peace. So putting up interventions that end violence against women and girls is a plus to all the country. It's a plus to the world, because it gives an opportunity for health to thrive, because most of the indicators that will even affect women and girls, you can always delink them to the intersectionality of violence coming in. So this conversation has to be taken up, and it will ensure that education and peace is very critical factor. Then protecting the girls, as it's always said, protecting women and girls is like protecting the entire generations. So we cannot run away from these facts, and we really need to look at it in a very positive and in a very focused way. As today, I think through and want to end this and celebrate with all of us, celebrate our wins, put up structures, put up key facts, key way forwards, and key asks on what to do. I will really think about this should be a message of hope. Hope to the survivors of FGM, hope to the women who really struggle to protect their young girls, but they never managed. Hope to the fathers who really tried to protect their young girls, but they never managed. But above all, hope to the girls who did not manage to get protected, but they really wish to be protected. So to me, I would want the world we want for women and girls will not be given to us, but we'll need to work through and get it. One, it can be through policies and community-owned-led interventions. So as I end this day, one great quote for me is, every girl, every woman has the right to grow up whole, safe, educated, and free from violence. Ending female genital mutilation is not charity, it is justice. So today, as we pick up this conversation, let us be positive, knowing that we have a role to play and we can do it. It's very great to be in this space, be in this conversation. And I believe that this is not about the day. It's about coming out, speaking out, holding each other's hands, and believing in our Vision 2030 in ending female genital mutilation. Thank you so much. and we hope to catch up and continue with the conversation. Thank you.